Italian energy giant Enel is sticking to full-year guidance. But can emerging markets really make up for the company's heavy exposure to Southern Europe? Let's ask Chief Financial Officer Luigi Ferraris. He joins us from Rome. Good morning. Well, simple question. Can the growth in the emerging markets compensate for the lacklustre performance in the south of Europe?
Well, good morning to you. Definitely the growing markets like Americas, the renewables and the Eastern companies are contributing to support our results. I cannot say that they are going to balance the decline in our mature markets, but for sure they are contributing to show a resilience versus the financial crisis that we are experiencing in Europe. And those are at the basis of our results just reported.
Okay, now I'm talking of Southern Europe. I want to ask you on Spain specifically. How bad, I mean, you have very large exposure to Spain. How bad is it in Spain?
Well, when it comes to Spain, Spain is still showing a resilience despite the major change in the regulatory framework that we have recently experienced. So if you look at the number that we have just reported, we are substantially in line versus last year. We do expect some potential negative changes in the short-term future, but we are working in order to balance such changes as such negative measures.
Can you quantify those expected changes for us?
Well, there is a project of law regarding major changes in the regulatory framework in Spain. Therefore, there are discussions going on with the government. There are also some activities in order to see if legally we can protect or change the content of this law. So it is too early to say what is the final outcome of all of this in terms of impact. We are confident that there might be some improvement, and we are also confident that a part of this charge could be passed through to the final customers, as it has already happened during the past.
Okay, now you've kept your full-year guidance for 2012, but you've not offered any full-year guidance for 2013. Why not?
Well, because there is normally a date in which we present our strategic plan, which is the month of March, as usual. So yesterday we presented the market our September results, and we confirmed our guidance when it comes to 2012. So it is too early to talk about future guidelines. For now, we have to confirm what we have already presented to the market.
In general terms, do you think 2013 will be a tougher, more difficult year for you next year than 2012 was?
Well, I think 2013 it will continue to be a tough year, like 2012 has already been. And that's why we have prepared ourselves to face such two difficult years like the current one and the following one. How did we prepare ourselves? First of all, thanks to our diversification, as we said before, we have been able to offset most of the decline that we have experienced, for instance, in the generation margin in Italy. And as a second element, we will work on our cost structure and also on the optimization of our CapEx program.
Okay, I want to ask you about your debt. Obviously, your debt is it's a huge 46.5 billion euro debt. You plan to reduce that to 43 billion by the end of this year. What about next year? How much do you hope to reduce that debt by next year?
Well, as you said, we have confirmed 43 billion euro by the end of next year, and that will be the results of operating cash flow improvements, the finalization, which we already done, of the disposal of Ireland and other minor assets, and we will continue to work on our operating cash flow and on the finalization of our asset disposal program. Let me remind you that we have announced at the beginning of this year, in March, that we have a plan of 1.8 billion euro of disposal to be finalized in 2 years. Well, we have already done about 800 million euro. We still have to do 1 billion. Those 1 billion will fall into next year, as long as our CapEx optimization and cost reduction program will produce the benefit next year.
But that's a very small amount. That's a very small amount compared to the size of the debt. Wouldn't you agree?
Our program, our plan shows, even for next year, a reduction from 43 billion euro to 41, 42 billion euro. So we are not talking about, for now, of a very aggressive and dramatic reduction in the debt because, first of all, we want to protect our industrial profile and not to change our portfolio of assets, which continue to be profitable and resilient despite the economic crisis. So it has to be a progressive, a steady reduction of our debt, thanks in particular to the operating cash flow and some minor disposal that we already put in our pipeline.
Okay, final question, and very quickly if you can. A big year next year for Italy with elections, etc. Do you think Italy should or will request formal financial aid from the EU in 2013?
Well, I think Italy has already done a lot in the last year in terms of readdressing our public finance. I think we are on the right direction. I don't think it's probably necessary to ask now for aid to the European community. We are, as a country, working in the right direction, so I think we have to wait for the final outcome. Of course, most of it is very much depending also the crisis evolution. So for now, I think we are doing what we have been asked to do as a country.
Okay, thank you very much. My thanks there to Enel Chief Financial Officer Luigi Ferraris, talking to Reuters from Rome. That's all from us for now. I'm Jamie McGeever. This is Reuters.